revolution isn't coming. That revolution's already here. There's just so many people in the world that truly can't see it. It has left behind 99% of people in the world. You know, if you're part of the top 1%, the traditional financing system is great. The hedge fund managers or private wealth advisors, they're taking 220 splits on funds. 3/4 of the time they fail to actually beat the S&P 500, right? They fail to beat basic index funds. A lot of eyes were opened when Bitcoin hit 100,000. And I can tell you a hell of a lot more eyes are going to be opened when Bitcoin hits 1 million.
变了，这世界真的变了。川普儿子 Eric 居然认为比特币好过家族本业房地产，为什么？正当爸爸川普在美国表态，将让比特币成为美国的储备货币，亲生儿子 Eric 也在中东和北非的比特币大会放话，我爸让比特币创新高10万美元，下一站目标100万美元，有可能吗？甚至认为这是普通人唯一能翻身成为金字塔前1%的机会。这几年物价、房价飙涨，光靠一份死薪水根本不够生活。如果你想帮自己增加一份收入，加速在2025年开除老板，脱离上班族生活，那这次的影片就是为你而做的。嗨，我是 Emma， 带你在币圈趋势中打造属于自己的被动收入。在我们开始前，可以请你帮个忙吗？YouTube 后台显示有 72% 的观众还没订阅频道。如果你喜欢我们的影片，免费支持我们的方式就是点下订阅按钮，每周日都能收到币圈最新的消息，更不会错过任何的财富密码哟。谢谢。
That this is the beginning of a financial revolution, not just in America, but truly around the world. I think that Bitcoin is a fundamental shift in the way we think about money, about how we think about wealth, how we think about really the future. It's a way that as a guy who runs a big real estate company, I think about how I want to safeguard treasury in our company, how I want to invest, how I want to hedge risk, how I want to transfer funds, how I want to pay vendors, right? How I want to collect funds from tenants and people who pay rent and the people who stay at our hotels, our incredible hotel guests and our incredible members, right? I mean, it's a shift in how companies like ours receive money. And I want to be very clear, that revolution isn't coming. That revolution's already here. There's just so many people in the world that truly can't see it. The vast majority of the people can't see it, and that's scary as hell. And I can tell you, a lot of eyes were opened when Bitcoin hit 100,000. And I can tell you a hell of a lot more eyes are going to be opened when Bitcoin hits 1 million. And I'm confident it's going to hit 1 million. I think we're all confident in this room that it's going to hit 1 million. You know, it's really amazing. Email. Everybody has it. It was created in 1970. I'm not sure if anybody knows this, right? It was a precursor to ARPANET. ARPANET was a defense contractor, really a DoD program that we used in the United States. And if you think about it, email didn't gain widespread popularity for another 25 years. This is email. It's something that all of us have. We all have probably multiple accounts, right? Think about text messages. The first text message was sent in 1992. It was December of 1992. It said, "Merry Christmas." Today, you have 23 billion text messages that are sent every day. That's 270,000 text messages that are sent every second. People are slow as hell to adapt to new technology. People are creatures of habit. Yet, everybody in this room sees something that so many people are so blind to.
真的，比特币从2008年发展至今大约16年。即便最近新闻常报道比特币，但目前全球真正投资的比例只有 6.8%， 还非常少。
I have a close friend. He's smart as hell. And 6 months ago, he was coming up to me, "Bitcoin is funny money. Crypto is funny money." And I would invest in treasuries. I would invest in ETFs. You know, that's how I would invest. And I laughed at him. And every chance I have a chance to remind him, I go, how's your portfolio doing right now? I mean, how's that one working out for you? And coincidentally, the bank that he works for, and it's one of the big 5 banks in the world, they just created a crypto desk. And they're putting hundreds of billions of dollars into cryptos. They're inventing ETFs every single day. Guys, people are slow to adapt to new technologies. And so I know all of you are thinking, Eric, you're from a real estate family. You've spent your entire life in real estate, concrete, drywall. Why? You love hard assets. Your family's built monumental wealth, through real estate. You've developed the tallest buildings, in the world. I mean, our concrete buildings, I built Trump Chicago. It was the 7th tallest building in the world when I built it. Our concrete pumps went from Trump Chicago to the Burj Khalifa, and that built that building. I mean, we built the biggest buildings anywhere on earth. We run the best hotels. We run the best golf courses, right? From everywhere from Fifth Avenue to South America, the Middle East, Scotland, Ireland. For our family, real estate's always been the bedrock of wealth creation. It's tangible, it's physical, we love it. You can see it, you can feel it, it has energy. But really, here's the thing, guys. For the first time, there's another asset that has energy. There's another new digital asset that's revolutionary, right? I mean, one that consumes energy, one has life, and one that really has potentially more powerful, potential to be more powerful than anything that we've ever seen before. I saw you guys go through those same attacks every single day. I saw them come after you. I saw them strip your bank accounts. I saw them cancel you like crazy. The same thing that they were doing to us because we were running for politics is the exact same thing that they were doing to the crypto industry. And so for the first time, it exposed me to a totally different view on life. Not just in America, but also around the world. I mean, guys, I've seen the modern financial system be weaponized. I've seen politics be weaponized. I've seen the legal system in this world be weaponized. And it's one of the reasons that I love crypto. It's one of the reasons I so strongly believe in DeFi. It's one of the reasons we started World Liberty Financial. We've seen the weaponization of the system. We've seen what these people will do. And that's so millions of people could get away from the very financial institutions that were attacking them each and every day. Guys, I've seen people get canceled for their political beliefs. I've seen people get canceled for their religion. I've seen people get canceled for their culture. I've seen wonderful people kicked out of banks because they literally wanted to fly a flag that said, "Make America Great Again," or wear that beautiful red hat that she's wearing right there. I mean, I've seen people lose their accounts for all of them. Guys, I've watched people get kicked off of Twitter and Facebook and Instagram simply because they had contrarian views to things. I've seen institutions once trusted around the world, the JP Morgan Chases, the Bank of Americas, the TDs, the biggest banks in the world. And this just isn't in America, this is around the world. I've seen them become total tools of political power and influence. I've seen government regulators walk into banks and say, "You know what, I see that you're banking that person, and just understand that we might need to take a little closer look at you if you continue to have them in your portfolio. So why don't you just scoot them out of the way?" Guys, I've seen this game. So many people in this room have seen this game. And I think what's more, I've also come to learn and see how antiquated the traditional financial system is around the world. Guys, it's slow as hell. It's inefficient. It's expensive. And generally speaking, it doesn't serve the needs of hundreds of millions of people around the world. People that don't have our balance sheet, people who don't have the Trump last name, people who don't have our assets, people who don't have the advantages that we have as a family. They have no competitive advantage. They have no capital. Individuals around the world have been left behind by the millions. The traditional banking system is rigid. It's vulnerable to manipulation. It's failed the modern world. It's failed to adapt. It's failed to keep up with the modern world. It's failed the needs of the modern world. And guys, really, that's where crypto emerges. I ask this question every single time somebody asks about crypto, but I say, does it make any sense that, a beautiful young couple, they want to go out, they want to get financing for a home. It takes them 90 days, it takes them 120 days to get financing. Does that make any sense whatsoever? By the time they get financing, that home that they wanted to buy, it's gone, it's sold, their dreams are destroyed. How in the world does that make sense? I mean, I can go on my phone right now, I can trade Bitcoin at midnight on a Saturday night while having dinner with my wife. How the hell does it take 120 days to get a loan in developed nations around the world? It doesn't make any sense. The traditional banking system is antiquated. Why do banks work on a 9-to-5 schedule 5 days a week? Does anybody in this room work on a 9-to-5 schedule? No. How does our modern financial system work that way? Does it make any sense that hedge fund managers and private wealth advisors, they're taking 220 splits on funds 3/4 of the time they fail to actually beat the S&P 500, right? They fail to beat basic index funds. You have these private wealth guys that are getting points on your money, and you wonder why they're sitting in the biggest buildings in the world. Their big signs are shining down on streets in every city around the world. How in the world does this make sense? Guys, Bitcoin's not just another asset. It's a solution to all of this. It's a solution because it represents a new financial paradigm. And it's a financial paradigm that's decentralized, it's transparent, it's empowering. It levels the playing field. It allows people to store value. It allows people to transfer value. It allows people to grow their wealth without relying on the very financial system, which, if you want to be honest, has left behind 99% of people in the world. If you're part of the top 1%, the traditional financing system is great. And by the way, it's probably the top 1%, if I'm being generous, in the top 10% of countries in the world. Bitcoin's not just an investment. It's a global asset. It's a store of value. It's a hedge against inflation. It's a hedge against political turmoil, political instability, acts of gods, hurricanes, fires, floods, tornadoes. Guys, that's what makes it so powerful. There's no CapEx, there's no insurance, there's no mismanagement, there's no corruption, there's no brokers, there's no break rooms, there's no HR, there's no DEI nonsense. There's no need for tens of thousands of bankers and massive skyscrapers all over the world pushing credit applications and antiquated paperwork, charging exorbitant fees. There is nothing that's done in those buildings that can't be done better on blockchain. There's nothing done on those, in those buildings that won't eventually be digitized on blockchain. There's nothing that can't be done faster, cheaper, more transparently, and really better in the new frontier. And guys, there's no question that's why this technology is the greatest disruption to the modern financial system. There's no question that the institutions are petrified. Guys, they're petrified. Why do you think BlackRock, and why do you think Schwab, and why do you think, JP Morgan and Fidelity, why do you think they're buying crypto by the billions? Now, why do you think every major bank in the world is opening up exchanges and launching ETFs and kind of launching into this new frontier?
因为机构们最清楚传统金融的问题，更清楚比特币发展的趋势，与其等着被淘汰，不如主动出击，打不赢就加入他们。这对个人来说也是一个很聪明的策略，不是吗？所以，如果你也看好比特币未来的发展，想让资产翻倍，最好的机会就是现在。我准备一份比特币懒人包，帮助你把握这次的时代红利。这份懒人包总结我过去4年在比特币投资中的成功与失败经验，分享了正确的投资心态和实用步骤。你可以在资讯栏的第2条链接中找到。目前已有超过500人领取，早早享受到了投资的回报。只要花3分钟看完，说不定下一位开除老板的就是你哦。
Bitcoin is actually proving to be the greatest complement to the hard assets our family loves so much. Just like real estate, obviously Bitcoin's scarce. There's only 21 million. I don't need to tell anybody in this room that. Name another commodity that's capped. Name another commodity that as prices go up, it's not further exploited. Guys, if gold ever went to $20,000, you'd be tearing down this building. You'd be looking in the concrete pillars over there. You'd be trying to mine gold. You'd be changing the supply dynamics. With Bitcoin, you can't. With Bitcoin's supply is capped. That's scarcity, that hard limit, it makes it incredibly valuable, especially as these assets are being purchased in the billions. That's why you see the price skyrocket the way it is. But unlike real estate, Bitcoin's not tied to geography. It's global. It's instantly liquid. Try selling this convention center to a REIT right now. I'll see you in 2 years. Try going out and selling a big office building. It will take you 18 months to do. At the end of it, you're going to want to shoot yourself in frustration. Think about the complement to hard assets that Bitcoin is, right? It's instantly liquid. You can buy or sell it while literally having dinner with your wife or your husband or whoever it might be. It's borderless. It can be transferred. It can be sold. It can be, moved with the click of a button. It's a global currency. It doesn't rely on traditional banking systems. It's not subject to the corrupt governments that we talked about before. We see them all over the world. There's corruption everywhere. There's no banks, there's no lawyers, there's no title agencies, there's no brokerage commissions, there's no middlemen. You don't need any of this to operate, to buy, sell. You don't need it to build. And that's why Bitcoin is such an unbelievable asset. Bitcoin and crypto, guys, they truly has the ability to change the world. It has the ability to disrupt traditional banking systems, in the biggest way, which really have been controlled by far too few. And I might be speaking against our own interest. We probably did better in that world than anyone. But Bitcoin is inclusive. It gives everybody the opportunity around the world to participate in ways that they never otherwise would have thought, no matter of their wealth, no matter of their location, the geography. People in developing countries, people who otherwise wouldn't stand a freaking chance. It gives them tremendous opportunity. And people very rarely ever say that about Bitcoin. It's a beautiful thing, and it's a thing that should be celebrated. It's a thing that should be embraced by all. And so really the question is, what does the future hold? What are we going to see? And I think in the next decade, we're going to see Bitcoin, we're going to see crypto. We're going to see it transform the global economy in beautiful ways. We're going to see it transcend borders and institutions. We're going to see that banks have to adapt. We're going to see that governments have to adapt, and governments will adapt. And by the way, those who embrace Bitcoin, those who embrace this digital revolution, those who embrace digital currency, the people who come in early are going to be the people who win. No different than the people who adopted email. No different than the people who embraced SMS. No different than the people who embraced digital photography. Hey, where's Polaroid right now? Does anybody know? They fail to adapt. They're gone. They're no longer relevant. They're no longer present because they didn't see it. I truly believe in the coming decades that this is going to become the cornerstone of the modern global financial system. It'll be used to safeguard your wealth.
真的，房地产交易速度慢，过程又麻烦，比特币24小时都能交易，快速又方便，但这也导致比特币唯一的缺点，那就是波动太大了。我从2021年3万时开始投资比特币，很开心，一年就上涨到 6.9 万，直接翻倍。但之后面临超过 75% 的下跌，每天手机一直跳通知，比特币下跌 10%， 比特币下跌 20%， 明明我什么都没做，这个月的薪水怎么就亏光了？跌到后面很烦，都不想看手机了。难道在币圈投资一定要这么崩溃吗？有没有更稳定的投资方法呢？还真的有，那就是放贷，将资金借给交易员，每天就能赚到稳定的利息，报酬率高于股票，但风险远低于比特币。再也不用担心手机通知币价暴跌亏钱，而是每天睡到自然醒，等着收利息喝咖啡。真的很感谢放贷支撑我度过币价下跌的期间，让投资变得更轻松，财务变得更稳定，更加速实现了当初想投资的目标，脱离有毒的职场环境，成功开除老板。 最开心的地方是，当我将这套方法分享给其他投资者后，来自台湾、杜拜、香港等各地的上班族们也都成功在币圈打造一份被动收入，一起实现躺平赚钱的目标。上个月我还受邀到香港分享这段投资经历，希望能避免新手再犯下我过去的错误，不用走弯路就能在币圈投资赚钱，过上每天睡到自然醒的生活。所以我准备了一个45分钟的免费影片，分享自己是如何从什么都不懂的投资新手，到现在成功打造一份稳定安心的被动收入。你可以在资讯栏的第一条链接中找到，并且限时免费加送投资比特币胜率 99% 的秘密，相信一定能帮助你投资币圈更顺利哦。谢谢你看到这里，这是2024年的最后一部影片，真的很开心能和你一起见证比特币从 4.2 万到创下 10.8 万的新高，资产翻倍的感觉真是太棒了。虽然我不知道比特币什么时候会到100万美元，但我可以确定的是，当那天到来时，我会在。你呢？如果你也会在，留言我在。我是 Emma， 2025年还会继续分享关于币圈投资被动收入的经验，记得按赞、订阅、开启旁边的小铃铛，并打开全部，还有 follow 我的 IG 哦，那你就不会错过这些知识了。我们明年见，拜拜。